Hello, welcome back to the Dana Lee Project. And yeah, Mandy's got another question for me
This week?
this week.
Wow, Dina, isn't that crazy? We're both wearing band t-shirts.
Listen, we run an efficient machine around here at the Dana Lee Project. we're on vacation. However, our YouTubers won't know that.
I'd be like, gosh, you guys look exactly the same as you did last week. That's what we're just not aging. Ready to laugh at this one? Ready?
Okay, bring it.
Dina, what do you do when you aren't motivated to work out?
Okay. I'm not
Now this,
motivated.
now this is
Right.
funny because about a month ago, Dana and I did a whole video about this and we didn't press record. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm
God.
gonna hold on to this question and do it again because it was a great answer.
Oh my God, which I can't even remember exactly how I answered it, but I'm just going to answer it as of Dana today,
Yes.
perspective today.
What do you
What?
do when you don't feel like fucking working out? Because you
Okay.
know that Dana doesn't feel like working out sometimes.
Yeah, I'm human. I'm not a machine. There are
Uh-huh.
days that I'm like super pumped about it because I feel like I have a lot of energy to move and I just want to like get it out and it feels, or I could have like, we're working on a program or a series and I really feel progression in it. And then I get excited about like, ooh, I wonder if I could do that this week. Or so that can be fun to like challenge myself. But there are days that I am just going through the motions. So the way that I handle that is first of all, I take the pressure off that I just don't have to be motivated all the time to work out. Like that's not something that I seek to make sure, oh, I have to be motivated and therefore I work out. So
Mhm.
that's not how I operate. It's more like I have an understanding, I have an agreement with myself that I know it is a proven fact that I feel better after my workout than not working out. So, even on the days that I'm not motivated, what I'll do is I kind of project myself forward in even an hour, right? I work out an hour less than an hour, the workout itself. I've become more efficient about that. I'm not like, addicted to exercise like I was back in the day, like more, and that's not enough. So I'll project myself forward to think how good I'll feel when it's done. So that's the first part. And then the second part, what I do is I commit to the bare minimum. Okay. So even if my regular bicep weight, let's just say is 25 pounds, depending on the length of the interval, and there's other variables, but just I'll say 25 pounds in each hand. On a day that I don't feel like working out, I will pick up 20s because I let myself off the hook. I let myself go through the motions because I already understand that moving my body always results in me feeling better emotionally and mentally.
Mhm.
And then, of course, physically. I'm always on the other side of it, like, oh, I'm so glad I did that. Oh, I'm so glad I did that. Even if while I'm going through it, it may feel like challenging, a little drudgery, a little like, oh, this is feeling really hard today. I give myself permission to pick up the lighter weight. What usually ends up happening, though, is we're typically doing like 3 sets in any given workout. So maybe the first set I'll go lighter, but then I'm always like, come on, be honest. Be honest, Dana. You can handle more.
Mhm.
And I typically will end up lifting my normal weight, but I do not put an expectation on myself that I should be lifting my normal weight. It just is my natural progression that I'll want to. I go from like letting myself off the hook to then giving myself the permission to choose. And then I choose to be honest with like, yeah, I'll just pick up the 25. Now, there'll certainly be other days that I'm not like that and I do the bare minimum and I will even It's been a while, but I do remember times that I'm like, I'm even going to come down to my knees for push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't usually happen because push-ups on my toe. I'm not going to say push-ups on my toes are easy, but like they're accessible for me. I could do push-ups on my toes like bang. I could just drop down and do push-ups on my toes. But when I'm feeling emotionally or mentally like I'm having a hard time with life for whatever reasons happening,
Right.
I will come down to my knees and do push-ups on my knees and
Mm-hmm.
just go through the motion of it. And even doing that, I feel better about myself because I've already worked on that mindset of beating myself up like, oh, you didn't do enough. You loser. You came down to your knees. Like, I don't even have that. That's not even in my thought process at all in how I talk to myself or treat myself at all. I actually like I'm more proud of myself. Like, look at you. You get through that workout even though you're feeling really sad today. Like like look at you. You did it on your knees and you kept going. Like I'm more gentle with myself through those really rough days.
Yeah, I like that you said the reason why I wouldn't want to work out is because I feel emotionally and mentally crappy. But every time, and not physically, it was emotionally and mentally. And then every time I feel, once I'm at the end of my workout, I always feel, without a doubt, emotionally and mentally, and of course, physically. Like it was like an afterthought because it's not your physical body that is stopping you from food prepping or or even the motivation of I want to go, because when you're emotionally excited and happy, you're good to go. You're doing it. Like even like a good song comes on the radio, you don't force yourself to dance when a good song comes on and you're like, oh, I love this song, you just start dancing. So that's just a trigger of the happiness that happens, So I like it that you said, like, I feel emotionally and physically crappy. So that's the only reason why I would be like, come on, let's go. You'll feel emotionally and mentally better at the end.
Yep. And then you also mentioned music, so I feel like I should talk about that because and our rock star t-shirts.
There you go.
But the music does make a huge difference in the workout. So if I'm not feeling that great that day, I'll put on a playlist that I know, like either the hardcore songs or like what's the vibe? Like, can I get lost in the music? And I love me some good Prodigy. Like I put that
Yes.
like then that like all right, I can sing to the lyrics, I get into the beat, like I can get into it a little bit so that I get out of my own head and then can get like more into moving my body, the beat of the music. And of course, I'm fortunate enough to work out with you guys in the live stream 3 days a week. So I have you guys and we have each other. I think that's another huge part of it too, of like I can lean into and onto my community. We all have showed up to the live stream with tears in our eyes at some point.
Yes. Do you remember just a couple weeks ago, I found out that my son eloped and didn't tell us? I'm sure he doesn't watch me on YouTube, so this is fine for me to tell the world. But I was very upset. And I told you guys all about it and I was crying, and you guys were all like, should we listen to, like, what kind of music do you want to listen to? And I'm like, something angry. We did.
I'm like,
By the end,
coming right up.
by the end of that workout, I felt so good. Because I was like, not only, and that's the other thing too, community. Having the community there. I can't work out by myself. I've tried. It's just not as much fun for me. Some people like it. Some
Yeah.
people like it's, what, sometimes I'm not, I'm gonna tell the truth, because sometimes I do just want to go for a walk and listen to music and be by myself. But like for the
Or
most part,
later,
yeah,
hold on, later today, you're going to work out on your own.
that's right. Yes. And
Because
that's, so you know what? Music.
music.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it's something I want for myself, something that will make me feel better. But
Yep.
like, generally speaking, the only reason why I couldn't come was because I got my carpets cleaned and they weren't clean, so I couldn't work out with my friends today. But yeah, like it's it's there's something to the community of it as well.
Definitely. Most
Yeah,
definitely.
having somebody, they call that something in the world of diet culture, like, oh, you have like a somebody, what's
Like
the
an
word?
accountability.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's always good.
Mhm.
Because like you said, where were you today? Because you know that it means a lot to me that I get to that workout.
Yep.
And and I was like, oh man, I couldn't go, but it's nice to know that there's a community that's
Yep.
wondering where Mandy is today.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. And to that point, I think um, it is easier for you to be gentle on yourself, and even when you're not really motivated to get there anyway, because it's beyond just the workout itself. Then you go because you're going to see your friends, or you go because you're like, well, I could just, we just bust each other's chops and we have a good time and whatever. Like you can kind of fuck off for a while,
Yes.
like that's another reason why, like, you want to find your people. So
Uh-huh.
if you've got a local place that you can work out at, and if you don't, then come talk to me and Mandy. Maybe you want to join us for our live streams and tune in from home.
Yes. Oh, we have so much fun.
We do. We have a lot of fun, and everyone does their own thing, right? I do like. I mean, we have exercises, and I put programs together, but you accommodate with what you have at home. So
Yeah.
it's about being resourceful and like, well, if you don't have a bench, you don't use a bench. You do this thing on the floor. Like I'm always giving like alternatives for depending on what the scenario is you have at home. But if you have someplace you go locally, like really making friends there is so important because then it pulls you outside of just the physicality of like the workout. And then you're going because there's the socialness of it. There's the music. I get to cry. I get to laugh. I get to like just check out from my family for a while. And like, so it becomes your like little social bubble. So that in itself sometimes can be not like the more motivating factor
Yeah.
because,
Absolutely.
right, when you're like, I'm not really feeling motivated, but then you're like, oh, but I haven't seen her in a while, or oh, you know what, I'm going to go to the workout because I want to catch up on, so and so was on vacation. I want to hear about her vacation, or, so and so is going in for surgery, and I need to, like, I want to say goodbye to her before she's off for surgery. It becomes like you're part of something bigger and more important than just the workout itself.
I have a friend of mine who was talking about how she just kind of lost herself being a mom. I am a mom. That's what I am. I always wanted to have children. It was hard for me to get pregnant, and now that I have children, I feel like this is what I do now, and that's okay. And I was just like, girl, you are more than just a mom. You can be some The reason why I'm saying this is because like when you check out from the world and you're in that room with a group of women and you're like, maybe you are talking about your son, but you are you talking to somebody. I remember when I was home for my when I had my son, who's now almost 19 years old. When I had him, it was like during that time period before I went back to work, I was like, people would ask me, like, when I came back to work, they're like, how's the baby? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care about my son. Tell me about you. I want to hear anything else other than the last time he pooped, the last time he took a nap, the last time he ate. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to talk about whatever the hell. Tell me about your boyfriend. Is he still around? You know what I mean? Like, I just want to know about other people because community, it means so much more to you than you realize. I mean,
Hmm.
the housewives of whatever, I felt like they were my only friend when I was home by myself. And I
Right.
was like, I gotta have real family. I gotta have real community. I gotta be around other people. And oh yeah, at the gym, you're also moving your body and like doing something for yourself.
Yeah, this reality that like you have to be motivated to do the thing, I think is actually a setup for a trap because
Oh
there's
hell yeah.
so many more elements as to the benefits you receive from the thing you're about to do because it's who you're being. Who am I being? Like I'm very identified as a mom. Then what do moms do? But if you identify yourself of like, wait, I'm coming back to myself. This is the
Yes.
woman I want to be. What would the woman I want to be, what would she do? How, what would she do next? Even if it's something that's hard, even if it's something that's like uncomfortable, the feeling you get about yourself after the fact is you cannot take a drug to get that feeling. There's just nothing like it. And it can't be handed to you. Like you earn that for yourself, the pride you have in yourself. It's
Mhm.
not like for showing up when you want to show up. It's for showing up when you're like, this is hard. I don't really want to do this today. But I know ultimately it's for my greater good. And I know I'll feel better if I do it. It solves a lot of problems if I do it, actually.
Yes. I'd like to say 75% of the problems. If you do it, if you do the hard thing, 75% of your problems are because you didn't do the hard thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that hard thing is.
Yep. And if you're like, this is all well and good, Dana and Mandy, but like I have so much self-sabotage and I cannot like then book a time to talk to Mandy in her calendar because the mentorship is something to seriously contemplate. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because that is so much of what we address, like all these self-sabotage things that come up of like, we don't deserve, you don't believe you're worthy of. We sort through piece by piece over time. So you start to build a case to be that, oh, I am the woman who deserves to feel good. And I am the woman who gets the things she wants in her life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that doesn't happen overnight. That happens piece by piece by piece by piece. And if you've been
Just so,
taught, go ahead.
and to circle back to what you said, on those hard days, you just show up and you start with the lowest weight. In the mentorship, we don't start at the highest weight. We start where you are, just show up for yourself. That's it.
So
We're not saying like you said,
yeah,
over time, you'll look back and you'll see, oh yeah, look at that. I did the hard thing that day. Or even like get into your car after you go for a walk in the woods and you sit in your car and you go, oh my gosh, I haven't walked that far in a long time. And I realized that I just got through, I kind of tackled something with Dana or Mandy this week or whatever. And, I'm giving myself time to be my best self.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Meet yourself where you're at. Meet yourself where you're at. That is like one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Instead of like thinking you should be farther ahead or, oh my God, I'm not prepared. Like, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
none of those things. It is
Mm-hmm.
none of those things. Just meet
Yeah.
yourself where you're at every single time.
Yeah. Speaking of meet yourself where you're at, which I love that. I'm My son moved out, and this is a homework assignment for anybody watching this. Please help me. I want to put stuff. I have a Cricut cutter, and I can put things on the wall. I want to put things that are like inspirational, but not like work hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Meet
yeah,
yourself
like
where you're at. I love
right.
that one.
Mhm.
So
Oh, there you go.
anybody got some good ones? Put them in the comments. I would love some good ones because I will definitely take them and I will put them on my wall from our
Well,
community here.
I just said it in our live stream today, which I know you missed because you were doing the carpet thing. So I'm
Oh,
letting you.
stop it. Stop rubbing it
Anyway,
in.
but well, one of the ladies was requesting if we could put some like fascia rolling back in the workout. And
Uh-huh.
every time I'm like, the time is I only have time to stretch. Like we're running out of time, right?
Because we talk too much.
Yeah, we talk too much on the front end because it's like chit chat, da, 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 and setting up our stuff, and then it's like, oh my God, it's already quarter after. How does that happen? So by the time we're done with the workout, that gives me 10 minutes so we stretch properly
Mm-hmm.
before
Mm-hmm.
we all head out. And I just haven't had like that extra like, I was trying to get done earlier so that way we have 10-minute stretch, 10-minute roll, or 8-minute stretch and 8-minute fascia roll. It just hasn't worked out that way in a couple of weeks. So I was saying that at the end of the workout today, I'm like, listen, you can have it all, just not all at once. All right. So that's another one. And they were like, oh my God, I love that. I said, well, I can't take credit for it. That is Bethany Frankel. I read that in one of her books and it has stuck with me and it has changed my life because that really has helped me. You can have it all. just not all at once. Think
Mm-hmm.
about that. And the doses and the phases of your life and the chapters. When I look back in retrospect, holy shit, I get what I want. Like I can have anything I want. There's so much that I've experienced, but over a period of time in different chapters. If I had it all at once, it would be awful and
Yes.
much, and I couldn't handle it, and I wasn't equipped, and I wasn't capable yet.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's still exciting for me to look forward to think about the things that are yet to come
Mm-hmm.
because I can have it all. I don't want it all at once. I want it like to ride the waves of like this is going on and then this is going on and then this is going like Steve and I have a couple projects we're working on. I have the coffee carry-on thing going on. Steve has like his fire mask liner business that he's starting and like developing that product. And so that to me is so fun to think about riding those waves of like, what's happening.
Yes.
I don't want it all at once. Like, no,
No.
savor
Love
it.
that.
So, and that also, she was actually writing that. That's part of her book she wrote called Naturally Thin. So she was also pertaining to food. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so that's how it was originally talked about in the context of like when you go to a buffet, like
Yeah.
you can have it all, but not all at once. So then that was like, oh my God, I can have a little of this and a little of that and a little of that. And that like really helped me because
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't gorging or overindulging and then feeling sick, but I didn't feel like I was depriving myself. So it's very applicable in many areas. So maybe that
Mm.
can go on your
I love that. Yes. I love it. I love it. I'm
walk.
definitely, that has to happen. That I have to put stuff on the wall because I'm a visual person. Like right now, all of my postcards from all the places I've ever traveled are all on my wall, and my kids and all the stuff are there, and people who have gone, who have passed away, who love me, who are like my angels and all that. And it's like visually, if I know that you guys participated in what's on the wall, it would be like so special to me. So that would be,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. So if you have any of your favorite sayings or mantras that have really affected you,
Hmm.
post it below.
Tell me, I love it.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. All right. Cool.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
See you when we see ya.
All right. See you next time.